Hello my lovely ravens, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel and today I am starting a new series on this channel. It is about ephemera basics, which means I'm going to make tags, mini books, flips, tucks, removable tucks, bookmarks, clusters, and the list goes on. Now, what I mean with ephemera basics, I show you how to make a basic thing that goes with any journal basically. So this is my box of scraps. This is one of the 3 boxes of scraps. I have one with just plain cardstock scraps in any color you can possibly imagine. I have one with scrapbook paper scraps. And this box is neutrals. So black and whites. Neutrals like cut-offs from music sheets, books, and also scrapbook paper. And this is my pile of tea and coffee dyed papers that I use for my journals, but also the cut-offs from it. And this is what I want to use today to make basics, and what I will be using throughout this series of basic ephemera, and show you what this series is all about, and that you can basically make something very simple that works for a lot of journals. So in this box I also have some manila file. I do recommend you get some of that or good cardstock. Manila folders is simply just cheap, and tags are very easily made from manila folders, even the small offcuts. And if you don't have it, you can also layer some papers over each other so it becomes thicker. But yeah, this is what I normally use to make tags. I think we should just get started, shall we? Let's get rid of some stuff first. And then just grab some things out of here that I might think I'll use. We have some paper strips here, some of that. Got some envelope, we won't be using that. Got some manila file. Some white mixed media paper. Some music sheets. Maybe even a tissue that I used, or a kitchen towel that I used for cleaning up some coffee and tea. Cut off from a paper bag. And another one. So different colors. Some cut off doily stuff. Some more coffee and tea dyed papers. This looks like a good strip of manila folder to get started with. So, let's get started. So I've got some manila file here, file folder. I had another piece, I think. Yeah. So this is 2 pieces of manila. They're 2 different shades, and this one is a bit thicker, but they're manila file. You know what I mean, the file pockets. This is just white paper, the kitchen towel, the doily. Apparently I stained it at some point. Music sheet, tea dyed papers, coffee dyed papers, offcuts from the paper bag, more coffee and tea dyed papers, and some Amazon packaging papers, and the doily. Now this altogether doesn't look that exciting yet, but I think if we use some glue, some scissors, and probably some ink as well, I think we can make something pretty cool. So I think the most used thing in junk journals or handmade journals is vintage. So I'm going to use this brown ink, which is called Gathered Twigs. I've had this for a while and it's my favorite brown ink. And it's actually my only brown ink that I have. Then I've also, for some embellishment, grabbed some stamps. This is all optional, but I think that everyone can get some stamps from somewhere. These were gifted to me, but I think everyone can get some stamps from an envelope or from somewhere. So there's that. Then I've also got some tags from Tim Holtz. These are also widely available, and you can also print some from Etsy. Just buy them there and you can print them. Well, not these specific ones, but you can print some tags. I also have an edition of Daphne's Diary, and these are some of the papers that come with that. I had a flip through, and this is what I could take out that are papers that are in there. But there's also some other nice images in it. And if I feel the need to, I might just go in here and get some images out and use those in the tags. And you can do that with any magazine, really. I bought this myself, by the way. So, let's get started, I suppose. Now, tags can come in all shapes and sizes. Normally, we know them as being long and have a small width. So about that size. So if we would go with that standard size, it would be about that, or even longer. It's got a longer one. There we go. We actually have 3 sizes now. And then from this one, I will probably leave that as is for this size. Now, if you don't have manila file, you can use any type of cardboard, from even the cover of a magazine. You can use this kind of cardboard because it's thicker, or even the back. In this case, let's do that. So if you would do that, kind of like this side, we'll just cut out the entire strip. It's not super straight, as you can see. Just correct that. There we go. And 2 shorter ones. So now we have quite a few, and if I would go with just the ones from the magazine, if you don't like the back, you can cover that up. So for instance, with a piece of sheet music, that was a motorcycle. I'm using Fabri-Tac glue because I trust this glue the best. So now I'm just covering up the side that I don't want to see. And because I need to cut those corners of the tag as well, I'm gonna do that straight away whilst I'm cutting. And there we have the base of our tag, really. So it depends on which side you now want to use as your front. This looks nice, you can still write on here. And in here you can now, with a hole punch a little hole. There you have it, there's a tag. You can of course put the string through, but we're not done with this piece yet. So you always want to keep your inking pad close so you can ink it up as you go. And if you would like, you can even around these corners at the bottom there. You don't have to. I do have a punch for that, just not close to me, so I can just do that with scissors. I suppose a punch would be easier, but you know, not everyone has them, so. And there we have the base. Done. Now what you want to do is layer. So people have troubles with layering stuff. If you adhere to this base, you can make it from whatever you want and it will always look decent, I think. Some brown paper. I think we can all find that somewhere. Something textured, so either this or, you know, some doily stuff. This would probably look really nice. Kind of want to show you this as well. Kitchen towel, because why not? So layer these on top of each other. So first we have this one. And it doesn't all need to be super glued down. I mean, a little bit goes a long way. When it's stuck, it's stuck. So overlay that a little bit higher. And then this one somewhere there. This one is a bit tricky, so it's gonna add a few dollops here and there. There we have that basic layering. Now what you can do is add either a stamp. Let's find a nice one. This will be a really large one. So this is nice and vintage, so this would be nice there. Or it could be... if you want to add a pop of color, you can do something like that if that is the look that you're going for. I kind of like this green one. Also put a smaller one, and if you have two, you can even layer them over each other. But these images could be whatever you want. It could be something from the magazine. It could be anything. It could even be that little butterfly. It could even be that one. You know what? Why not? Let's do it. It is whatever you have on hand, really. And it's just that this was lying next to me that I chose it. And that this background kind of goes with it. I would ink up the edges just so it's not as white. This could probably sit there. But then I want probably an orange stamp that goes with that. It's a very industrial. Let's see if I've got something else. So I said I was going to go with the green, but because of the butterfly, I now changed my mind. But yeah, again, if you can't find any stamps in this case that belong to that or that go with that, you can, for instance, look on the cover of this magazine as well, and then you can see another butterfly. And now I'm actually wanting to do that butterfly. Shall we do it? I kind of like that stamp though. So cutting this out, a little bit of fussy cutting. There we go. And then you just have to see what composition looks best. I think I might like that one. And it's okay if your images stick out a little bit. It's fine. It really, really is. I think I want a whole cluster of stamps here now. because I think that would look good. So just layering and seeing what looks best first. If you start with this base, then you should be okay. And these two stamps. And this butterfly. There. And there you have a layered cluster of bits and pieces that is very, very easy to put together, and it looks nice. And if you're really bothered by that green at the back, you can always put some paper over it. So if we have that paper from before, so corner we cut off, just overlay that. And you can cut around it. And there's that. You can even ink that up as well. Take it as far as you want. And because this is now all from the cover of the magazine, it's kind of plasticky as well, which means that it's kind of sturdy and long lasting. So there's the first one. Put a string in there and you're done, basically. And that is just with leftovers, scraps, stamps, as you could see. Now let's try something with a manila one, a long one. I'm going to use the same principle, so we use some of that. We can probably use a piece of, let's still go with the brown paper. I was going to say a piece of book paper, but you can just use this. So I kind of want to cut it flush. There we go. Now the second layer, I think I might just do the same thing again, which is more of this stuff. And it doesn't really matter how it tears off. There we go. Just press it down and put some more glue where it needs it. And this brown doily is just done with ink, but I just had that left over from a previous project, so that's why I didn't do it in this video, but you can easily do that. And even though tags are just a simple thing, I use them in most of my journals as ephemera. So there we have that cluster again. 3 layers. You can do that from the bottom up or either side. It could even be that way. And not all tags need to be with those corners like that. They can be like this. And then punch a hole there too. And that's the normal size hole punch. So you can also just use a 2-hole punch for this. Now, you can add a piece like this and fold it in 3. To add some interest to your tag. So if you would paste this right here, even maybe with a little tab like that, and this can be like a little fold out flippy thing like this. And if you don't like the look of that, you can always put some doily over it like that. or lace or something like that. There we have it. That's a tag with a flap. And if you don't like the way it's popping out like that, you can put a piece of cardboard here that flips over here so it's tucked under. You can also put a piece of string around it just to add a little bit more interest. And then this one, it doesn't really matter where you place this as long as it overlaps. And you have those three elements in there, so to add interest, just your base. You could even add another one right there if you wanted to, but let's see what we find in this magazine. That's rather nice. It's a bit too big for this tag though. This one would be possible, but let's keep looking. Always add something like that, just a botanical image. Kind of like this one. Let's see if we can find something else. So if you would make this a gardening one, just all shoes, yeah. Then this would actually be rather nice. Take one of those shoes and ink this up. And this one too. And even tuck it under a little bit like that. And then the shoe will go right on top. And this would actually make a really nice garden tag. Crunch that up a little bit. And the reason I'm showing you these three tags that you don't need a lot to make something is because you really don't need a lot to make something. Of course I have all the nice stuff that from Tim Holtz and all that kind of thing. So because my camera stopped recording after 30 minutes, I have no idea when it recorded until. So here we have the three tags with the cords that I've attached, and you can put anything on there, ribbon, twine, just kitchen twine, or anything really. And this journal I will never sell because it's obviously Harry Potter themed, but all the ephemera that I will make in these videos I am going to store in here, and then at the end we can have a look what we've created. So this is a very basic journal. You can see I have some of my Hogwarts portraits in there and some ephemera. Not a lot. Might even be only this little thing, which is fine. So these three, I have some colored paper clips here. The orange one can go with the orange one. So I'm just gonna place them at random. You can place these at the top of your journal. So this sticks out, so you can always find it. You can put it somewhere in the middle. And that orange paper clip goes really nicely with this thing. So somewhere in the middle, or just on the side. And you can even put a little charm or another piece of ribbon on here, so you can also find this one. So there's that for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that half of it got cut off because of my camera. I hope to do better in the next one. I normally don't film 30 minutes in a row, so it's with intervals, but this is obviously a long tutorial, so that's why. So next time I'll probably make some mini books, or maybe some flips or tucks, or let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see me create in this Ephemera Basics series. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.